Ceramic coatings are expensive, and the inconvenient truth is less is not more when it comes to application. If you're stingy with how much you use, application and removal is going to be much less fun, and the overall results will be substandard. So with that being said, here's 3 tips to help you waste less product while still living that more is more life. So first things first, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? Yes, I know the lettuce needs cutting. I'm well aware of it. Unfortunately, my barber is poorly, so if things get worse, we'll just put a hat on it and try and style it out. It is what it is. These first few videos that I'm doing, these are all pre-application. These are things you can do before you even start applying the products to get a better, more efficient, more substantial install. So with that being said, tip number 1, surface area. So you've got your standard applicator, right? These are mine are probably a touch bigger, wider perhaps than the ones you've got, maybe not. Standard way of applying, you would wrap microfiber or suede around this. My go-to is microfiber, and we will cover that in another video. But tip number 1, so we apply coatings widthways like that. You wouldn't apply it really like that. It seems inefficient and a waste. So we're going to go horizontally, or we're going to turn it and we're going to apply it vertically. So tip number 1 is cut your applicators in half lengthways. Why? Let's think about it logically. We are covering the same surface area during the install, but we've halved the surface area that we are using to load up the product. So we're laying down the same amount of product over the same surface area on the car, but because our surface area has halved, the amount of product that we need to put on to get the same result may not have halved also, but has certainly reduced. Same level of product on the car, same results on removal, less product loaded initially. So you're going to have a lot of product go missing during application that is down to absorption or saturation, and that's because a lot of the product that is loaded up onto the microfiber or suede that you're using is going to leach through and be absorbed into the foam of the applicator. You can't help that because you're going to keep loading up and loading up and loading up product on whatever it is that you're using to wrap around that. It's always going to leach through. So tip number 2 is to eliminate or reduce that. And the simplest way I know, and the thing that I do with every single applicator that I use, is to simply apply some packing tape to the back of my applicators, and that way when I wrap those around the foam blocks, the surface area that is being loaded up with the product is not touching the foam. It's very, very simple. It's very, very MacGyver, but it really, really works. There is a noticeable decrease in the amount of product I use per car now that I've started doing this on every single coating job. You could, in theory, put the packing tape on the foam of the applicator, sure, but I find that the suede or the microfiber is more inclined to move over the surface. Hopefully you'll be able to see I cut all of my applicators so that I can fold the microfiber in. That stops it moving around so much. But from a user perspective, I just find it loads better to stick it on the microfiber than I do the foam. So this one's also pretty key and pretty obvious really when you think about it. It's to stop evaporation from the bottle during your application. You don't want to leave the pourer of the bottle open to allow the solvents to evaporate, reducing the contents and making the contents that are left less user friendly when you apply it. So tip 3 is to apply a stopper in the top of the bottle whilst you're not using it. But Matt, why don't you just put the lid back on? This is the problem we're going to cover. Okay, so in an ideal world, you're going to want to use something big enough to fill the hole, ladies, in the top of the bottle, but it isn't going to be something that actually touches the surface of the top of the bottle. Why? The top of the bottle is always going to have a little bit of waste product on it. If you keep putting the lid or something on that touches the top, that's going to harden and crystallise. Those little crystals are going to drop onto whatever it is that you're using to apply the liquid when you pour it over, and you're going to start to get micro scratches everywhere. So, in an ideal world, what you're going to be doing as you are applying and working is you're going to have an old cloth that you're going to keep wiping the neck and the lid of the bottle with. So that's going to minimise the amount of product that sits there, reduce the amount of crystallisation. Top tip, it is a must, you must do it. So in an ideal world, whatever you use to fill up that hole in the top, it isn't going to actually touch the surface. I use a small piece of plastic, I just pop it in after every time I pour product out. Every time I pull that out, I wipe the lid over, put some more product on, fill the top again, easy peasy. We're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, we're stopping the accumulation on the lid, and we are stopping the evaporation, which keeps all the product in the bottle, which may get you an extra car or an extra few panels further down. Okay, so that's us 2 videos down now. We've covered how to increase the durability of your coating before you even bother to apply it, how to use more product but waste less, which will also get you a better install. We've got a couple more videos coming for the hands-on stuff. So if you like what you're watching, if it's been helpful so far, and you haven't already, please, please, please subscribe. We need the numbers, we're trying to achieve something here. Once the ceramic coating playlist is done, we're going to move to other things like machine polishing, taping up, things like that. So tell your friends, tell your colleagues, tell your car clubs, do whatever you need to do. Let's get it out there, let's get the numbers up, let's make this worthwhile. I promise I'm committed to bringing you good value, useful content to fill in the gaps that other people leave when they tell you exactly how to do something. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks for staying with me this long, and I'll see you on the next one.